Hello, and welcome to another episode of Rob's Ramblings here on the Bucks and Six channel. Today at the Brown Table of Sports Card Collecting, I'm going to do an episode that I've had on the docket for quite some time, since the very beginning of my channel a couple months ago. And for whatever reason, this concept kept getting pushed back, and I kept doing other episodes. And now finally today, I thought it's time. I'm going to sit down and put this one out there. So I mentioned in my early episodes that I collected through the 80s, and then I took a break for a while, then got back into it. I was born in 1972, so I didn't really collect much in the 70s. Some late 70s cards I do have from my childhood, but I don't have a ton. But in 1979, I had a few packs, and in one of those packs, I received a card that was one of the all-time record holders cards. If you're not familiar with the 1979 set, it's from card number 411 through 418. They had 8 cards that just represented all-time record holders for a variety of different baseball statistics. And I ended up getting a card that had Walter Johnson on it, and I just thought that was the coolest thing in the world at the time. Didn't really know anything about Walter Johnson, but little 7-year-old Rob knew that was he had to have been pretty special to have made his way onto this card. And so those record holder cards have always kind of held a special place in my heart. And I only had a couple of them from back in my childhood. But when I got back in the hobby here, one of the things that I did is I went back and I grabbed a copy of all 8 of those cards, and that's what I'm going to show here today. They're not super gorgeous cards, they're not shiny cards, but they're just cards that I have really grown to love. And some of these are in better shape than others, but for me, it really wasn't necessarily about the condition of the card. It's just that I liked the cards and what they stood for. So, and the 1979 set is very well known for being very off center. So one thing that I am kind of proud of is that most of the cards in my little mini collection of these record holder cards are fairly well centered. They're not perfectly centered, but I'm not one that's too caught up on being perfectly centered. I just like the card themselves. But anyway, so here they are. I'm going to start with the first one. This is card 411, and this is the all-time record holders for hits. And back in 1979, George Sisler was the all-time record holder for most hits in a season, and Ty Cobb was the record holder for career hits. Obviously, that has changed since 1979. I believe Ichiro now holds the record for most hits in a season. He had something ridiculous, like 260 hits in a season. And obviously, Pete Rose now holds the record for most hits in a season. On the back, they give a more thorough listing of all of the hits, the people with the most hits in a season. But the leaders, they pictured on the front. So there's the first card in this little subset. The next one, this is one of my favorite cards in the group. Maybe my favorite one, or close to my favorite one. This is the runs batted in leaders. Back in 1979, the most RBIs in a season was by Hack Wilson, and he still holds the record for most RBIs in a season. It's ridiculous. It's like 190 or something like that. I'm sure it says on the back, if I can see it. Yeah, 190 RBIs in one season. And the career record is held by Hank Aaron. I believe Hank Aaron still holds the record for most RBIs. That might have changed. I'm not 100% sure on that. Pretty sure Hank still holds that one. The next one is home runs. Back in 1979, Roger Maris held the record for most home runs in a season, and obviously that record has been broken. Barry Bonds holds both of these now. He holds the record for most home runs in a season and in a career. In my mind and in my heart, Hank Aaron still is the record holder for most home runs in a career. But, Major League Baseball has no way of of determining who is legit and who was not. So Hank Aaron's the one that I consider the record holder. The next card here, this is the batting average card. This was card number 414. Back then, Rogers Hornsby held the record for highest batting average in a season. Ty Cobb was the highest batting average for a career. I believe this has recently been changed with the addition of the Negro League statistics. I think Josh Gibson now is credited with the highest career batting average. Not sure the highest season batting average, if that's changed. I would imagine probably. So I would think Josh Gibson probably holds that record now too, but without looking it up, I'm not certain. Nap Lajoie, I think, had some really high seasons back in the day as well. The next card 415, this is the most stolen bases in a season, and back in 1979, Lou Brock held both of those records. I think it's pretty cool that they give two different photographs. And all of these pictures are black and white. I think that just kind of adds a little bit of mystique to them. I think that's one of the things that 7-year-old Rob was drawn to, that all these guys are in black and white. That must be really, really old, and I got nostalgic about that. And obviously, Rickey Henderson now holds, I believe, both of these records for most stolen bases in a career and for a season. I think he had like 130 in 1972 for the record for stolen bases in a season. The next card, now we're getting into some pitching cards, and these records are going to be hard to break. Back in 1979, the leader for most wins in a season was Jack Chesbro, and he had, I think, 41, it says. Yeah, he had 41 wins in a season. That clearly will never be broken. And Cy Young's career mark for wins, I don't think will ever be touched either. He had 511. Can't imagine that that's ever going to be touched again. I can't even imagine 300 wins being gotten by anybody, but 511 is just ridiculous. So that's a cool card. The next card here is strikeouts, and back in 1979, Nolan Ryan held the record for most strikeouts in a season, and Walter Johnson held the record for most strikeouts in a career. This was the card that I had as a kid that I just thought was so cool. This is the one that this card is the reason why I have all the rest of these cards. And I believe now Nolan Ryan holds both of these records. Nolan Ryan well over 5,000 strikeouts in his career, and he still holds the record for most in a season. I got to make some room for this one. And the last, I have one more card that I'm going to see if I can make room for it here. The last card in the set of 8 is earned run average leaders. Dutch Leonard held the record for lowest ERA in the season, and Walter Johnson held the record for lowest ERA for a career. I don't really know if those marks have been touched since then. Like, oh my gosh, the record for Dutch Leonard, he had a 1.01 ERA back in 1914. I don't think that has been broken before since that time, but anyway, this card, another Walter Johnson. Again, it's pretty cool that they've got the Walter Johnson on both of these cards with different photographs of the man in each one of these different cards. So I thought that's kind of cool. So at any rate, that's the set of 8. These 8 cards were part of that set. I loved them all. I had just a couple of them as a kid, and then I added the rest of them as an adult here just to finish it off. I don't know that I'm ever going to need to upgrade any of these. I know they're not all in great shape. They're all pretty decent shape, and I think the images on all of them look good. The only one that I might upgrade is this one, just because it's got a little ink mark, like a pen mark there, and that kind of catches my eye, and I don't like that necessarily. So for this one here, I might upgrade just to a different one that doesn't have that ink mark on it. But there you have it. That's today's episode. These 1979 cards, the all-time record holders. I think they're pretty cool. Hope you enjoyed the episode today. So until next time, Enjoy the hobby and stay true to yourself.